Hi everyone, my name is Chris and I'm behind Wide World, and today we're going to be talking about unwavering faith and why it's so important when you're trying to manifest anything. But first of all, I just wanted to say thank you for all the comments and all the love I got on my last video. I truly did not expect it to have this many views in such a short time. Also, especially because it was my first talking video that I basically put on my YouTube channel. So yes, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone new here and that I just subscribed. Yeah, thank you for subscribing to my channel. It's very weird. I've wanted a YouTube channel for as long as I could remember, like probably the beginning of YouTube, and I'm finally getting around to doing it, so all the support really means a lot to me. So thank you for subscribing. If you want to stay connected, if you want to know more about me, stick around in my world, then you can just subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would really appreciate it. So about today's topic, unwavering faith and why it's so important in manifesting. Because without persistence and belief together, you're not going to get your manifestation. It is physically impossible. Because to me, unwavering faith is that belief in the manifestation and that persistence together that comes into unwavering faith. So unwavering faith, faith meaning belief, and unwavering meaning that no matter what happens, no matter the circumstances, no matter what is happening with your manifestation, the people around you, regardless, that faith and that belief is unwavering and you persist in the assumption of your desires. So to me, both of them kind of mean the same thing but a bit different. Why? First of all, why persistence? Because depending on how much practice you have with manifestations, depending on some of your beliefs, depending on the emotions that are surrounded with your current beliefs, old patterns, whatever, sometimes manifestations are going to take longer to arrive. Like, it's going to take longer for you to accept your new reality and to believe in your new reality and in your manifestation. So that is why sometimes it can take that's why sometimes manifestations can take longer than other manifestations. It depends on your beliefs and how quickly it takes you to integrate that belief. That's why I think there are time delays. I honestly, yes, sometimes it's like the universe rearranging itself, but most of the time I really think it just depends on how long it takes you for you to accept your new reality. And that's why there's time delays. I don't think it's because the universe is like, there has to be a certain incidence for you to get your manifestation, because literally all timeline exists at the same time, I can't say that. Attends, simultanément. Je vais le dire en français. Okay, simultanément. Je vais vous le trans. I'm gonna translate in the caption, but simultanément, the universe exists. Simon can't pronounce that word right now. Do not know why. I'm not gonna try harder. Alright, so since all realities basically exist at the same time, I think that if you get that, it's just a matter of time before you accept your new beliefs or your new reality, whatever. It's not really a matter of time before the universe rearranges itself, because an event that's supposed to happen to give you a manifestation could have been placed in the past because all the time is happening at the same time, pretty much. If I don't make sense, you can tell me. Sometimes I just get a bit in my head and I'm still getting practice explaining what I want to say out loud rather than just thinking it in my head. So that's why if I don't make sense sometimes. All right, back to unwavering faith. So yes, time delay. You're going to get your manifestation by the time you accept your new reality. You know it as fact. You persist in that reality without wavering. Pretty much how you can summarize unwavering faith for you. So first of all, why is persistence so important? Because if you keep changing your mind about the new reality you want to think about, install, live, or whatever, it's going to take you longer to get your manifestation anyway. And regardless of what happens in your circumstances, you have to believe and you have to persist in the belief or assumption of your new reality. So let's say you have a business and you declare today you are only going to start working with your ideal client and you're going to make a lot of money with your ideal clients. And then the next day, somebody you don't want to work with, you don't want as a client, it's not your ideal client, whatever, it's not the reality you want to be living, but in your choices, you're like, I'm going to accept that client. But in your choices, you accept that client, but then you're saying one thing about your reality and what you want to live, but in your choices and what you're doing, you're doing something else, basically. So it tells the universe, or it tells basically yourself, that you're not really believing what you're telling yourself. You have your affirmations, but in your actions and what you're doing day to day, or even in your affirmations, that like you get bored one day, or then the next day you're deciding affirmations don't work for me, and you're all wishy-washy with what you do. Basically, you're not persisting in your new reality. One day you're like, this is my new reality, but the next day you're like, fuck it, I'm never gonna manifest anything. You know, it's gonna take a lot longer, and it's maybe going to be a bit harder for you to manifest than somebody who persists in the assumption, that doesn't look at their circumstances, that make the choices of the version of their self that are they're making the same choices as the version of themselves that are already living that reality. You see? And that's persisting, regardless of what happens, regardless of the outside, regardless of anything else. You're persisting in the fact that you are going to manifest that thing, and it is your new reality, and you're going to end up living that reality in the 3D, in the real world. And that's really the most important, because without persistence, you give up all the time, and then 3 years later you've been studying manifestation and you're like, it's not working for me, because every time something happens you give up, and every time something unfavorable happens you give up. You do your affirmations, you do your visualization for one day, and you're like, where's my manifestation? Like, I should just give up. Why do you think you don't have your manifestations anymore? Like, you don't have your manifestations yet? Because in your belief in the thing, you're persistent, it's basically not there. You're just changing your mind all the time. You're not truly putting the effort to reprogram your mind or whatever. Because just any technique, like I said in my last video, a lot of techniques works for a lot of people, and sometimes just robotic affirmations work. Sometimes just affirmations work, sometimes just visualization, sats, whatever techniques you feel like doing. It's just basically about waking up every day and choosing to believe in the reality you want instead of the one you're living in, because the current reality is just a reflection of your past beliefs, like your past old patterns, your past assumptions. Today, choose what you want to believe, choose what you like, the reality you want to live, and do that every day until it shows up. Don't be like, oh, something happens today, I've been manifesting for a week, this shit doesn't work. No. Persistence. That's why it's so important. And unwavering faith, because for me, it's like persistent and assumption basically means unwavering faith. It's about having faith in your manifestation without doubting. That, like, regardless what happens, like I said, your business, you meet a client and that client is rude, and instead of like, you can get out of here, I don't want to work with you, I believe in bringing in so much business that is enjoyable, pleasurable, without having to deal with clients I don't want to deal with. But one day you declare that, and then the next day you're like, oh, I'm gonna work with them, because you're so worried about money, or you're so worried about certain things that you disprove your faith in your manifestation with your actions. It's basically, yeah. So without unwavering faith, without persistence and belief, you're not going anywhere. Sorry. And some people say like, oh yeah, time delays are bullshit. It's never like, if you just believe you're gonna get there. What most people don't have practice with manifestation, and like any skill ever, it's gonna take some practice to master it. And before you get to that point of like, yes, you can manifest anything in like 24 hours. If you're a beginner and like, I'm gonna manifest in 24 hours, well, you have to believe in you manifesting in 24 hours without seeing anything until you manifest in 24 hours. That's not necessarily the best way to get on manifestation. For some people it's gonna work, for most people not really. So what you do is you practice manifestation. You develop your belief, your persistence, your belief in manifestation. You start with smaller things you care about enough that you do like to dwell in the feeling of living in the end, of having your manifestation, but without so much importance that it becomes too hard for you, that it becomes like you have so much pain attached to it. It's a lot longer to manifest just because of you beginning to believe in that reality takes a lot longer. So you start with small thing. Maybe somebody gives you a free lunch. It's still very nice. It's like a surprise. It's fun. It's exciting. But you don't have like, your life is not going to be over if you don't manifest it by the end of the week, you know. So just build up your faith in manifestation. Not even in your desires in itself that it's going to manifest, just in the simple fact that manifestation exists. It's important to build faith in that. And then as you work on getting desires bigger and bigger and bigger, while you still have all that trail of evidence that manifestation has already worked for you. So it's a lot easier to believe in manifestation and have unwavering faith in your desires, because you know you've already done it with so many things. So why wouldn't it work for this? Even if it's bigger, even if it's money, even if it's your appearance or something that you have a lot of anxiety surrounding it. So I'm going to leave you with that to contemplate today. I hope it was useful to you. I hope you enjoy it. Instead of just listening, I hope you do take some action today and tomorrow. I hope you do take the time, especially at the beginning of the day or at the end of the day, to make sure your belief in your new reality is strong, and that you believe that it's going to happen no matter what. Day in, day out, day after day, and with some persistence, your desires will be in your world. Your desires will be yours. So I hope you enjoy my video, and I will see you in my next one. I hope you have a nice day.